Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Mole Trap here. Here in my seat, in my room, at my computer. Here in your computer, in your brain, in the hizzy. Bringing you the ace match. That's right, ace match. It's all down to this game. All of the last however many minutes and hours of playing, all of the heartbreak, all of the hardship, all of the practicing that all these players have done for the last few days in order to play in this match. I'm waving my hands at my computer right now. All of it comes down to this Zerg versus Zerg game, which may actually just end up being a roll of the dice and a build order win. Could be anticlimactic, could be awesome. We have to wait and see. And who was I talking? Someone the other day was talking about how they hated it when commentators say, "We'll have to see," because obviously you have to see because, duh, you have to watch the game to see what's going to happen. It's a good time filling thing, though. It's a good thing to say to fill time. I don't remember who was saying that, though. Anyway, I should probably give you the colors since they're both Zerg, huh? So this is Zero versus Hyvaa, the Zerg aces of both teams. Hyvaa being basically the top Zerg on eSTRO lately, is going to be the white Zerg player. He's going to be at kind of the bottom right position. And Zero, the red Zerg player, who, by the way, I've talked about his ZVC skills before, so I won't talk about it too much. But he is the red Zerg player at the 12 o'clock position. He has got some good ZVZ action going on. I mean, he played really, really well. He's still not in the top ranks of ZVZers, because he still can't quite win against, your efforts and your Jadongs. But he did really well against Effort at BlizzCon. He's played really well in ZVZ since then as well. And unfortunately for Zero, he's got his pool up a little bit earlier, and I don't think it's quite early enough to really make it a huge advantage. Although I didn't get the exact builds there, so I'm not sure. This is MoonGlaive, by the way, so it's not too long of a distance for him to run his Zerglings over there. He could theoretically make an advantage out of the fact he's got these early Zerglings, but he didn't save up Larva. He did not save up Larva, so he's going straight for the lair instead, actually, and so he's going to go straight for Lurtak, and that might even buy him even more of an advantage there. We'll see if Hyvaa, the white Zerg, goes for Lair Tech as quickly. If he does, then, and he probably will once he sees the Lair morphing there, and just a couple Zerglings coming out, he's probably going to, he's going to morph his Lair as well. So, by delaying his pool slightly, Hyvaa has gained a little bit of advantage there because the time that he delayed his pool, he built a few extra drones, and then he's still, the time that it takes for Zerglings to run to his base, he can produce those Zerglings too, so he's got an advantage technically that way, just because then he's got more drones in the net of things. And Zero just didn't get his Zerglings out quite quick enough to do a ton of damage. It would have been a lot better if Hyvaa had gone for a 12 hatch or something like that and gone for an early expansion. He would have found him out too quick for him to deal with it, and it would have been able to take an advantage. But in this case, he's at a bit of a disadvantage instead. Although he is getting things down earlier. He's got a second hatchery down earlier. Zero, rather, has his second hatchery down earlier. He's got his Spire up. He's got his lair up. There's the Spire. Interesting, the Spire a little bit late. He put down that hatchery first, and so I think he didn't have enough minerals for the Spire at first, right when the lair popped. And so now he's putting down the Spire. It's going to be a little bit delayed, so he's definitely not going to be able to get any kind of an advantage by having his Spire up earlier because that got delayed. And so, Hyvaa's Spire is only a little bit after, I think. Yeah, it was only a little bit after, so not going to gain any kind of advantage off of that. But both players are going to end up basically in kind of the same position here. I wouldn't be surprised if Zero actually even tries to squeeze in some drones now. In fact, we saw him holding his ramp with 4 Zerglings against 6 of Hyvaa's for a moment there, so that means that Zero was able to probably squeeze in an extra Zergling there. Now that they've got their tech going, they're going to start producing a lot more Zerglings to make sure they don't get outnumbered. It's kind of, ZVZ is, you have to be, it seems like a kind of a almost simplistic matchup sometimes, but it really is. You really do have to pay a lot of attention to a lot of things anyway, because you're having to look and try and gauge how many Zerglings the other guy's making, so you can make them as well. And it's a really, really precise thing. Although it doesn't take as much multitasking, and that's why, that's one of the reasons why Jadong, I think, excels at ZVZ, just because he got so much multitasking. He can just do whatever he wants. And it looks like Zero is going to try and move in here and try and make kind of a break here. by trying to use 2 Zerglings on 1 to poke a hole there. And if he can poke a hole in that Zergling line, he could try and march the rest of his Zerglings up. He needs to be careful, though. He needs to start using the full health Zerglings to try and poke that hole. It looks like he's managed to get that line a little bit disrupted at least. He's got an extra Zergling or 2. One of his Zerglings lagging behind. Critically, one of his Zerglings lagging behind. And now he finally gets it in play, and is able to take out all of Hyva's Zerglings. But he could have taken out with 1 extra of his own if he wanted to. Oh, and he gets them out and gets past and tries to sneak those Zerglings. That's what he was trying to do, is get those Zerglings up the ramp and kill off some kind of a timing attack there. Kill some drones before he got his mutas out. The mutas come out, are able to dispatch that. And Zero, though, taking out an Overlord. Nicely done, taking out an Overlord, and Hyvaa not able to counter. Hyvaa not firing as many times as Zero there. Zero getting the first hit in several times. Zero rallying mutas. It looks like both of them got their spires about the same time, so they've got an equal amount of mutas meeting in the middle of their bases. And Zero, having gotten more hits in the beginning, is taking extra hits now. He's killed off a few mutas. He's doing a lot more damage. Zero might win the game right here if he gets to... Oh, man, he backs off. He backs off and tries to just go for a longer-term advantage. He doesn't want to try and chase. I think he would have been better off chasing Hyvaa back to his base, though. And look at that look of despair on Hyvaa's face as he realizes he is in deep, deep trouble right now. I'm not sure why Zero didn't try and move home there. I guess he's just going to try and... I mean, that is the smart thing to do in StarCraft, is when you have an advantage, just kind of chill with it. And now he can go around and kill these Overlords, because there's nothing Hyvaa can do about it with this mutalist disadvantage. There's nothing he can do but try and stall. And he's going to try and plant down a sunken colony. I'm not sure if that's maybe he tried and make a spore colony is what he might be trying to go for. But Zero here has his group of mutalisks. And like I said in the last ZVZ I did of him, like I mentioned, I mentioned that Artosis mentioned at BlizzCon that Zero does not get hit with Scourge. He just does not. His mutalist control is just too good. He barely ever gets hit by Scourge. I think he may have just been hit by one there, but that's because he's just got so many overwhelming numbers that it doesn't even matter. Hyvaa sitting back in his chair. What are you doing, Hyvaa? Hyvaa is just too depressed to GG. Hyvaa losing a build order advantage by mismicroing his mutalisks at a critical moment has just, remember all that hype I was saying about all of the background leading up to that one game. And Hyvaa screwing up his Muta Micro at the crucial moment. Loses the game. Zero playing brilliantly, though. Doing a really, really good job of taking advantage of that situation. And, just using that, getting the first hit in. And taking out that Overlord as well, which set him ahead anyways. And then using that advantage and just going all out. And once he got that grip, not letting go. So, anyway, GG. Hyvaa... I hope he doesn't cry. No, he's not crying, but... Hyvaa has a very good reason to be depressed there, losing the game for his team there, but very, very, very mad props to Zero. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this whole set. Thanks very much for watching, and it was good. I'm glad I finally had a chance to actually get some games in here. I hope you guys enjoyed the random crap that I was doing in between with the clips and the commentating of the IRC and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, forgot to finish the note earlier. Day9 TV. Day9 is doing. He's a top American gamer still. He's not like on top of the field these days, but he's still very, very good. He's doing hardcore, in-depth analysis of pro games. So if you want